Hello everyone, welcome to my bedroom. This is my presentation on the effects of self-awareness on the perception of sexual satisfaction. I will be simultaneously drinking wine because it is 2 a.m. and this is weird. I'll begin with my research questions. First one asks, does greater self-awareness elicit greater levels of sexual satisfaction? Does self-awareness affect whether or not a person sees themselves as ego-centered or partner-centered when considering sexual satisfaction? And which group reports greater sexual satisfaction? Why is sexual satisfaction so important? I'll tell you. One sec. Sexuality is integral to human life, yet it remains a social taboo among society. There are many facets of the human condition that are positively associated with it. Things like public health, relationship fulfillment, quality of life, self-esteem, stuff like that. This topic is particularly interesting because minimal clinical attention is paid to the relationship between sexual satisfaction and welfare. 83% of Americans believe that enjoying sex is a vital part of general health and well-being. Only 21% of the American population expresses having extremely satisfying sex. That is low, and that is unfortunate. So what does self-awareness have to do with all this ish? Perception of the self affects the way that people behave. It also plays a major role in mental health and dysfunction. Positive self-awareness also increases your ability to enjoy the pleasures in life. Get it together, bitch. One of the journal articles that I used to base my research off of was a study that examined the relationship between body image and sexual satisfaction in women. This was done through an internet survey where they tested women between the ages of 18 and 49 by the body esteem scale and the sexual satisfaction scale for women. They eventually found a positive correlation between the two, saying that higher self-esteem usually meant higher sexual satisfaction. This is relevant to my current study because self-esteem is an aspect of self-awareness. So if that can elicit better sexual satisfaction, then I think so can self-awareness. Another article that I'm referencing in my research paper explains what self-awareness is and how one becomes self-aware. So he says it's a combination of two different things: mere self-face recognition and inner speech. Mere face recognition is being able to respond to reactions to yourself in a mirror, basically understanding your physical presence. Inner speech is talking about yourself to yourself in order to become the object of your own attention and thus become more self-aware. So he says that theory of mind is a product of self-awareness. So theory of mind is basically a combination of mental states, beliefs, goals, desires, etc. that one recognizes in another person. So what he's basically saying is once a person can become self-aware, they can start anticipating the wants and needs and emotions of others. So I have two hypotheses. The first is that the people who are more self-aware will show higher levels of sexual satisfaction. The second is that the people who are more self-aware will also be more partner and activity focused in their style of lovemaking. My independent variable is the presence or absence of self-awareness. So my dependent variable is the score on the new sexual satisfaction scale. It's on a Likert scale from 1 to 5, 1 being not at all satisfied and 5 being extremely satisfied. The survey is divided into two categories. Subsection A is ego-focused tendencies and subsection B is partner-focused tendencies. This is going to be how I measure who is more partner and or ego-focused and who has greater levels of satisfaction. For the purpose of this study, sexual satisfaction will be defined as the assessment of sexual sensations, sexual presence and awareness, sexual exchange, emotional connection, closeness, and sexual activity. Self-awareness will be defined as being aware of one's physical appearance.
Sex will be defined by engaging in any physically intimate activity that is done with another person with the intent of achieving an orgasm.
Participants will consist of 90 undergraduate students, both male and female. I'll be using convenience sampling and random assignment through Microsoft Excel's random number generator. Participants will be compensated with course or extra credit. Also, I will be using group testing. In my procedure, the treatment group will be given personal, self-standing, non-magnifying mirrors to look at for 2 minutes. During this 2 minutes, they will be asked to think about the things that they like about themselves in their head. A positive dialogue script will be provided at the beginning of the session. After this is completed, they'll be asked to do the NSSS and then also the post-survey questionnaire, which will ask them about demographics such as age, gender, and when their last sexual encounter was. The control group will not be given the mirrors, and they'll be asked to read a gossip magazine article for 2 minutes. After the 2 minutes is up, they'll be asked to take the NSSS and also the post-survey questionnaire. The surveys will be confidentially submitted through surveymonkey.com. The materials that will be used in my research is an 8x5 personal self-standing non-magnifying mirror for each participant in the treatment group, an inner speech script, a post-survey questionnaire, the new sexual satisfaction scale, and personal computers and or electronic devices that are able to access SurveyMonkey. In my PowerPoint, you will find examples of the NSSS, the post-survey questionnaire, and the positive dialogue script. For the purpose of the results section of this presentation, the NSSS data was hypothetically sorted and averaged using an Anderson-Darling test performed to determine normal distribution. A 2-sample t-test was also used to compare average NSSS scores. A chi-square test was then used to determine if ego-focused or partner-focused people have higher satisfaction scores. You may refer to my hypothetical data in the PowerPoint. Methodological issues pertaining to my study include sample size and demographic, what people think about the 2 minutes that they are given. The reading task could also elicit confounds, and also generalizability is low. The specific sample size, varying cultures not being represented, and limited sexual experience by reason of age are all problems that may affect my study. Alternative explanation of the results are participants might over-exaggerate on the survey because they want to sound like sexual geniuses. Also, participants who have not experienced sexual activity in the past 6 months might feel inclined to forge their test, which would compromise my data. Practical applications of my research may include increased understanding of sexual dissatisfaction and potential causes of it. It can also offer techniques to boost self-esteem, improve sex life. It may also lead to the progression of sex and relationship therapy, also promote selfless sexual tendencies to increase mutual satisfaction, and also promote sexual comfort. And that is the end of my presentation. I hope it was just as uncomfortable for you as it was for me.